Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and I am back with another video. This will probably be my last video for Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month as March is coming to an end, but for me, it's Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month every month, so don't expect me to go away. I wanted to close out the month with another divisive topic that I mentioned briefly in another video. This topic is even more divisive than some of the other ones I've already done because this is a topic that's not even agreed upon in the disabled community. But this is my channel, my journey, and so my opinions are the ones being voiced here. I am not a be-all, end-all authority on this topic, but I do know a good deal, so let's get started. Inspiration porn. I touched upon this briefly in my first video about toxic positivity, but a lot of people, mostly able-bodied, don't actually know what I mean when I say that. Wikipedia has a helpful definition for it, which is, inspiration porn is the portrayal of people with disabilities as inspirational solely or in part on the basis of their disability. Based solely on the definition, it sounds pretty icky, right? But it can look pretty nice on a surface level. I've seen so many of my friends share memes and videos on their Facebook feeds that are quintessential inspiration porn without realizing what they're doing. You've probably seen it in action. A video of a disabled person that are just living their lives. It usually has something to do with either a new technology that makes this person's life easier because something is now more accessible to them, or it's literally just a look at this person who has a harder life situation than you. Don't you feel better about your own life now? And that is the problem. Inspiration porn isn't meant for disabled people, it's meant for able-bodied people. What people fail to understand when they make, view, and share content that is inspiration porn is how dehumanizing it actually is to the disabled community. If we go back to the definition again, it's finding a person inspiring solely because they are disabled. So they're automatically taking humanity out of the equation. It also automatically assumes the quality of life of a disabled person, or the disabled community as a whole. The able-bodied community doesn't seem to understand that just because someone has a disability doesn't mean they automatically have no quality of life. All things considered, my quality of life is pretty good, despite the things that I can't do or need help with. But again, this is not common knowledge. Society teaches the lie that all disabled people are sad and broken, and that any of us who do cool things are not the norm. Able-bodied people use us as objects rather than see us as people. Inspiration porn tells able-bodied people very harmful things. 1. All disabled people have a super rough life no matter what. 2. That should automatically make able-bodied people grateful for their own, not hard at all lives. 3. That able-bodied people are never allowed to have bad days because disabled people exist. To all the able-bodied people that are watching this video right now, I just want to let you know that you are allowed to have a bad day, to struggle, to need a break, or a sick day, etc., etc. My disability, anybody's disability, doesn't mean that your life can't be hard. Please know that you have my blessing to struggle. We're all humans with difficulties in different areas. I went and found some inspiration porn memes here to show for examples, and I have some thoughts on them. First, I hate how a lot of them have children in them. Like, to the people that actually take the time to make these memes, are these actually your children? 'Cause I really doubt it. It's creepy to include pictures of people that you don't know in these memes, but it's even worse to include children that you don't know. Like, how would you feel if someone used a random picture of you that they either took of you without your knowledge or consent? Which, by the way, does actually happen. Able-bodied people are the worst about taking photos of disabled folks out and about in public using their mobility aids. It's kind of in the same vein that they take photos of overweight people and post them on the internet to fat shame them. But that's a whole other issue and topic. Leave the children out of it. Leave us all out of it, but really, really leave the children out of it. Disabled children need to be taught that they are perfectly normal kids like all of their able-bodied peers. And able-bodied kids need to learn the same. They need to not treat disabled kids differently, except including whatever accommodations they need. This next one is a 3-in-1 of all the things I hate about inspiration porn. On the far left, it makes my blood boil. It says, "He asked her to prom even in her condition." So let's walk through all the ways in which that statement is problematic. I actually have a video that covers the specific topic of dating and sex while disabled that I'll link in the description, but I still want to touch upon the terrible talking points in this meme. This meme automatically assumes that disabled people are undesirable as romantic partners. The "even in her condition" part genuinely makes me want to scream. I can guarantee you that whoever created this meme has no idea what her condition actually is, nor do they actually care about her. This meme is about making the able-bodied person in the picture out to be some sort of amazing person because they asked someone with a disability to prom. This meme is framed almost as though the disabled person pictured is an inanimate object, but this special able-bodied person saw something in her and thus asked her out. What about her being a cool person that her date fell for? See, this is a huge reason why inspiration porn is so harmful to our community. But again, I have a full video covering sex and dating that I will link so you can see more of my thoughts on this topic. The center meme again here centers around children, which is just extra gross, but I've already talked about that, so let's move to the far right. Stephen Hawking was an amazing human being who, in this meme, has been boiled down to his disability. The meme even acknowledges that Stephen Hawking was incredibly smart, but only in a way that is meant to make the people viewing the meme surprised that a disabled person could potentially be the smartest person in the world. It's always assumed that any and all disability comes with some sort of cognitive impairment, and that's flat out not true. Share equals amazing just perpetuates this idea that we should all be amazed that someone with as little mobility as Stephen Hawking had excellent mental prowess. Why is that amazing? It shouldn't be. The next thing I'm showing is actually a comic from the disabled perspective that I thought might help hammer home some of the points I've made in this video. An able-bodied crowd looks on as a wheelchair user goes by. A woman is holding a sign that says "handy-capable," which, incidentally, I hate that word so much. That word was not created by the disabled community as a word that we wanted to be used to describe us. That word was invented by the able-bodied community as a form of inspiration porn. The word handy-capable puts the responsibility of integrating into the world on the disabled community rather than on the able-bodied community to make the world more inclusive and accessible for us. I'm disabled and handicapped because this world is not built for me to thrive in. This world is one that I can barely survive in without help. If the world was more accessible, maybe my cerebral palsy would be a non-issue. Who knows? Back to the comic, we have a man taking a picture to make an inspiration porn post, and the person in the wheelchair is angrily noticing and silently taking it all in. We notice more than we're given credit for, and more often than not, we hold our tongues so as not to rock the boat. I do just want to make a quick aside here that in my research for this video, I came across a TED Talk by Stella Young, an Australian comedian. She does an excellent talk about inspiration porn herself, and something that I found very interesting is that we picked some of the same memes to discuss and point out the problems in. I will link her TED Talk in the description. I highly recommend it. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that you can't be inspired somehow in your life by a disabled person. But you shouldn't be inspired by something they don't have any control over. My disability doesn't play into the parts of me that could be inspiring to someone else. I don't get inspired by able-bodied people just existing and surviving their day-to-day lives, and I don't want anybody to be inspired by me in that way. Because something else that able-bodied people don't understand is that inspiration porn doesn't equal inclusion. Using a community of people like that isn't actually including them. Inspiration porn doesn't actually help our community. It doesn't make the world more accessible to us, and in fact, actually adds to the ableism in the world that we experience. If you want to be inspired by me, I'm a poet, a musician, I do psychic readings, I like to spend time in nature. All of these things could be inspiring to someone, and I would take no issue with it because those are all things that I have control over that include my humanity. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is not an agreed upon topic in the disabled community. There are some in the community who find empowerment in things that make me feel incredibly uncomfortable. As an example, there's a term in the community called cerebral palsy warrior, and I want to state here and now that I hate that term with a fiery passion. To me, that term is part of the inspiration porn issue, especially since I mostly see it used by parents and caretakers in reference to their loved one that has cerebral palsy, rather than the actual disabled person calling themselves a warrior. But I will admit, I have seen some disabled people refer to themselves as a warrior, and even though it squicks me out personally, I have no right to tell another disabled person where they can find empowerment within their own condition. Some people might view their lives as more of a fight that they need to be a warrior for, depending on the symptoms that they deal with. For my part, I don't feel like a warrior. I'm just a normal human trying to live my best life, and on the whole, I would say I'm doing it. It's never going to be perfect, but it doesn't feel like my life is a battle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will link all my videos with related topics to this one in the description so you can have further details in some of the things that we discussed. I will also be linking Stella Young's TED Talk. Stay safe, stay sane. I will see you soon.